One of the biggest creators in the GTA roleplay space has just been accused, and he actually admitted to, cheating on his wife with a married woman. And before we get into it, I have to say for the record that I know absolutely nothing about GTA roleplay. I did the bare minimum research. It's personally not for me. I think it's a little bit silly of a concept, but it seems that it draws huge numbers. I mean, I was seeing in 2021, 2019, they were pulling 50 million, 30 million viewers, whatever. So it's a big deal to a lot of people. And MoonMoon is the creator we're going to be talking about today. I feel comfortable sharing the name because they've already been exposed all over the internet for millions of people to see. But again, as always, please don't harass these people. Let's begin. I'm going to start with the account from the husband who posted originally, and then we'll go to the screenshots. And that's going to be a fun game of will YouTube ban my account? So he starts by saying, "Hey everyone, there's not really any easy way to say this, but Jillian, Devo Jilly, my wife of 15 years, and the role player of Sioban, again, apologies for the mispronunciation, on No Pixel GTA Roleplay and the love of my life, has apparently been cheating on me for months with the Twitch streamer MoonMoon. Attached, you will find the screenshots from TwitchCon that I found when I was trying to see if it was okay after not responding to my check-in messages Saturday night. And we will get to those in a little bit. It really saddens me that it came to this after months of assuring me that it was all role play. I was sold the lie that it was just about sex positivity and girl bossing, when in reality, they were just living out their secret fantasies while both being married. I'm sure their rabid fan bases won't care, but I'm also sure there are plenty of people who will feel vindicated by this, especially those who warn about the dangers of emotional role play. Thanks, Trav. So let's take a break, time out for a second. You can see this guy's obviously a little bit hurt. You know, he's talking about vindicated people, the sigmas, the alpha males. Women are only out there to cheat. You shouldn't let them do anything. Although I will say, I'm a little bit confused as well as somebody that's not big into roleplay. How this is not something that is okay for people in relationships, really. Because if you're going to do a role play of a romantic relationship, I assume you would kind of start to have a connection with that person, even if it was just faking it at the start. I mean, you have to role play a life with that person. You have to role play like you're a couple. I assume you role play a date or something like that, dates, anything like that. I'm not super sure how that works, but again, to my point, it is a little strange that this is something that was ever considered like a great idea for the relationship. And clearly it didn't work out. So he continues, I got curious after finding these messages and checked other DMs. There were multiple guys she was sending and receiving sexual videos with, all of them in this particular RP. She would call them her daddy or favorite or whatever pet names, obviously, curating emotional relationships behind my back, and then had the audacity to act completely normal at home. Her best friend warned me about this, but I didn't take it seriously. This level of compulsive lying and sociopathy is honestly something I should have seen coming. Now, this is interesting, and you're going to see this in the screenshots, but she makes it out like she is about to drop her entire life to go live with MoonMoon, and that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like this was all just kind of a game to her, and whatever she had with MoonMoon was just a game. So he got absolutely scammed as well, if we're to believe this guy, which at this point, I'm not sure why not. So let's continue with him. He only has a little bit more. He says, this is the same person who would be the first to grandstand and virtue signal about any other streamer drama. Since I was unemployed, she told me my job was to check other streams to give her intel on what people were doing at certain times to make sure she had the best outcome for her character. That was not fair to anyone involved and is admittedly very scummy, but hey, it worked. I guess the moral of the story is no one is safe and nothing is sacred in this industry. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that means. I'm gonna assume that is some sort of scandal in the role-playing community. I mean, I understand why. I don't really understand what best outcome for the character means. Maybe somebody can fill me in, but he's dropping a lot of bombs here. And I'm not gonna lie, I am like a wartime reporter. I'm on the ground. Bombs are falling all around me. So it's possible this situation is still developing, but we've got a lot of developments that we still have to cover. And let's start by going over to the actual screenshots. Now, I'm very curious to see how YouTube deals with this. I am probably not going to say everything, but I will post everything in the screenshots. So let's begin. I assume this conversation comes the day after TwitchCon when apparently these messages were sent. So she starts by saying call, to which he responds, I'm pooping. Stop. I always find that very funny how like these guys that are in a cheating relationship are somehow able to be so blunt and disgusting, honestly, and it somehow works out in these kind of cheating scenarios. I'm not really sure what that's about. Anyways, I just wanted to say that. She responds, fine, I cannot begrudge that. I cannot let my lord not have his poop. So he responds, unrelatedly, enjoying sleeping in that bed tonight without me there to make it a furnace alongside you. Now, at first, I thought he was talking about Dutch ovening her, to be completely honest with you, but I'm going to assume he's not. This man is a god of metaphors, and I am merely playing checkers. She responds, that was not the primary issue impacting sleep quality, and you know it. So he responds, I haven't a clue what you could possibly mean. Not one. I can feel him tip his fedora as he says it. And she is eating it up. She says, playing coy, I see, sir. I slept really well last night, just not long enough. So she is almost like the opposite of a Reddit bro. She's not tipping her fedora cap. I don't know what the female version is, but she's doing it. She's tipping him right back at you, madame. So he responds, me too, honestly, to which she responds with an emoji. And then he asks, do you have a headache? And she says, nope. Turns out eating was good for that. Who knew? Also, probably water. Thank you for checking on my headache. And he says, of course, I'm pretty sure I left ibuprofen over there too. And she says, you spoil me. And he says, allo. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm not a huge anagrams, metaphors guy, but it's very sweet of him. You know, on his way out, he left the ibuprofen. Very sweet of him, all right? So she says, I assume this is picking up a little bit later. She says, I literally cannot stop thinking about you destroying me. I'm a degenerate, depraved person. And you can read that in your own mind. He responds, I've pretty much been thinking about blowing. Yeah, she says, same wavelengths. I like your frequency. I can't wait to have fun with you. A little more graphically. He says, get that birth control taken out and I'll have you bent over and knocked up day one. That's a promise. This man is the most fertile man in the world. Teenagers always somehow get pregnant when they even have a condom on. This guy is even more fertile than them. This guy's an absolute Chad. She says, I swear to God, my ovaries couldn't get any warmer or fuzzier. I think this is kind of the problem with these kind of text messages is that in the moment, I bet it was super exciting for them. But reading it back out loud, and this is true for any kind of dirty texting, it sounds so cringe. I'm dying here, and I'm reading it after the fact. So he responds, they could if I finished in you. And she responds with HNGH, which I assume is just her orgasming, because she then says, I wish you could have heard the whimper that just escaped my lips. And he says, just try to make one like it when I stuff you again. So then she responds, I don't think I shall have any problems reproducing the sound for your enjoyment. In the musical of my mind, I had Majesty by Eminem and Nicki as our like song for a while because of Eminem's part of the lyrics. And she posts it, and it's, uh-oh, wifey's in Chicago, my side piece, but she's also someone's wife. So the time we spend is borrowed. It's our moment right here, F tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. If anybody wants to put me onto an EP, go ahead. I'm ready to drop some bars for you. My flow is outrageous. She says, I'll be very glad when the time doesn't feel borrowed anymore. Our romantic Reddit couple, the man responds, love your singing voice and the lyrics. And she responds, I said I wanted to serenade you. And this is getting so sweet. He responds, I've never been serenaded before. I blushed. And she says, that's cute. I like that. You're super cute. Hey, this is a fantastic rom-com. I'm falling for them, all right? Get this other guy out of here. What kind of, oh, he's the husband? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. He says, I do be cute on occasion. Love the confidence, king. What are you doing post TOS game? She says, you're cute all the time, MO. I'm just listening to sappy love songs. Aw. He says, you're such a girl. And she responds, this is what I'm reduced to. And he says, to be in love, sitting by an AC unit scrolling love songs on Spotify. She says, 100%, I don't let anyone else tell me what to do, but I listen to you. It has taken all of my willpower to not just start packing my stuff. This is so funny to me that if you reference back the husband talking about how it was all about being a girl boss, and yikes, it seems like kind of the opposite to me, honestly. But hey, that's just my humble opinion. He says it'll be 100% worth it. 100%. The most Reddit conversation you could ever find. She says, I have no doubt of that. What are you doing? A little bit later. He says, chilling with the boys. Big chilling time. I'm now on me computer. And then they had a call that lasted 2 hours. So that's the end of the screenshots. All right, that's a pretty wild ride. For any of you that were listening auditorily, you kind of have to read it. I apologize. It's just that bad. So, where are we at right now? As I mentioned before, I don't have all the details on this situation yet because it's still developing, but I do have an update. I have two, actually. So, MoonMoon broke his silence and he said two very big things. Number one, he said that he and his wife are separated and they have been for a couple months. That's what he claims, that he's still figuring out the divorce proceedings, whatever, but it's technically not cheating on his end because he was separated. So it's fine. And he also says that the person that he cheated with, this woman who was married, was in an open relationship and she claims that it was the guy's idea. So that's the story we've got from MoonMoon. Apparently, nobody's done anything wrong. This was all consensual. Everybody kind of knew about it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to cut straight through it. That sounds like complete bullshit. I don't think you would talk about packing up your stuff if you were in an open relationship. I feel like for some reason it wouldn't need to feel as secretive as they make it out to be. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably incorrect. Now, there is one more update from the original guy, the husband. He came at it again a couple hours later and said, we are not, or we're not, in an open relationship. Why would she talk about cheating and packing her bags? Exactly like I said. That's not how that works. This is the bombshell of GTA roleplay. I really want to see a storyline in game after this. I wonder if they will continue to be a couple in roleplay. I actually wonder if they'll go through their own affair in the video game. Sounds like she's not super loyal to MoonMoon. Sounds like he didn't necessarily even know that. He thought he was getting himself a wifey over here. He got one in the virtual world and he was about to get one in the real world. Oh yeah. Yikes. So this is a crazy situation. It has been absolutely blowing up all over Twitter. I had to talk about this. If there are more updates, I will definitely talk about it more because this is just fascinating me. I might go watch some GTA roleplay right now, actually. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.